Today, we'll discuss a topic that may seem unusual but is essential: women who prefer anal sex and how this relates to infidelity. I am an 85-year-old woman with countless stories and experiences to share. I was born in a time you might only read about in history books or see in old films. I've watched humanity accomplish amazing things and endured difficult times. I have learned much about people. Now I'd like to pass some of that wisdom on to you. I understand that preferences and intimacy can be a sensitive topic, and infidelity is deeply painful. But trust me, there's much to learn from these experiences. I'll show you how communication and understanding can be the keys to navigating these challenges and building a stronger, healthier relationship. Before we dive in, be sure you're subscribed to our channel. Here, we offer many videos with advice and tips on relationships and intimacy for those over 50. Our goal is to help you live a life full of love and understanding. Let's start by discussing women who prefer anal sex and how this connects to infidelity. You may wonder, what does one have to do with the other? Let's explore this together. To begin, it's essential to recognize that sexual preferences are as diverse as people themselves. Some women prefer anal sex for a variety of reasons. For some, it's a way to explore something new and exciting, adding an extra element to their intimate life. For others, it's about physical pleasure, as anal sex can stimulate erogenous areas not as easily reached through other methods. Additionally, some women experience a deeper emotional connection with their partners when engaging in something often considered more intimate and private. They tell me that they believe the connection is deeper and more intense. Now, let's move on to infidelity. Infidelity, as we know, is a complex and painful issue. It involves betrayal, a breakdown in trust, and often a profound sense of loss. But what drives a person to be unfaithful? The reasons are many and varied. Sometimes people seek outside the relationship what they feel is missing within it. This could be attention, affection, understanding, or, as is often the case, a form of sexual fulfillment they're not receiving from their partner. This is where sexual preferences and infidelity connect. Imagine a couple where the woman has a strong preference for anal sex, but her partner feels uncomfortable or unwilling to engage in this practice. Such differences in sexual preferences can lead to dissatisfaction when desires and needs aren't openly communicated or fulfilled within the relationship. The likelihood of seeking outside what is missing inside increases. Open and honest communication is essential to prevent differences in sexual preferences from becoming a gateway to infidelity. If one partner is hesitant to try something new, like anal sex, it's crucial to discuss this openly and respectfully. Both partners should feel free to share their desires and boundaries without fear of judgment or rejection. Building an environment of trust allows the couple to find ways to meet each other's needs, so both feel happy and fulfilled. On the other hand, it's important to remember that infidelity is never justifiable, even if there is sexual dissatisfaction. Betraying a partner's trust can lead to lasting pain and damage. If you are in a situation where your needs aren't being met, the healthiest course is always open dialogue. Try to understand what's missing and see if a solution can be found together. If, after numerous attempts, mutual satisfaction remains elusive, it might be time to reconsider the relationship. Returning to the subject of anal sex, it's vital to demystify and openly discuss all consensual, intimate practices. Often, what's lacking is information and communication. Some women may prefer anal sex simply because they find it brings a unique level of pleasure or connection. This doesn't make them unusual. It merely highlights the diversity of human experiences. When we consider sexual preferences and infidelity, we see that the key lies in open dialogue, mutual understanding, and respect. Whatever your preferences, it's essential to create an atmosphere where both partners can explore and express their needs. Above all, remember that the foundation of any healthy relationship is built on trust and honesty, a subject that has been present throughout the stories I've observed and experienced is infidelity. Betrayal is painful, but it also teaches us about who we are and how we relate to others. When I was young, discussing infidelity was taboo, but I learned that every betrayal has a background of choices and circumstances. I've seen people express regret, seek forgiveness, and even change for the better after being unfaithful. Life is like that, full of lessons that we only understand by living through them. Now, at this stage of my life, I want to share these insights with you. Let's take this journey together, exploring infidelity and what it can teach us. Listen to the sound of my voice as I move your body through movements. And while you listen, wonder what you think. Join me as we discuss how to comprehend and handle this complex aspect of our emotions and relationships. Infidelity is more than just a betrayal. It often signals that something in the relationship is amiss. Many times, it begins before the actual act, taking root when one feels unfulfilled, disconnected, or neglected. I remember a young couple I met many years ago. Beauty, wealth, and success. Yet, behind closed doors, their life wasn't as perfect. The husband frequently sought attention outside the marriage, not only craving physical satisfaction, but needing admiration and validation. His wife, intelligent and caring, sensed the distance growing between them, but feared facing the truth and losing her perfect world. When the betrayal eventually came to light, it wasn't through his confession, but because she was the last to know. The entire community had noticed, and the looks of pity and judgment were unbearable. Betrayal is incredibly painful because it shatters the trust that holds a relationship together. My first piece of advice: don't ignore the signs. Often they're present, even if subtle, like emotional distance, excuses to stay away, or unusual glances that are hard to overlook. Facing these signs can be frightening, but it's better than discovering a full-blown betrayal. However, remember that infidelity isn't solely one person's fault. It's often a tragic dance between two people who have lost their connection. Honest communication is the best solution. discussing desires, fears, and frustrations can open a path to understanding, preventing cracks from forming. If betrayal has already occurred and you're dealing with its aftermath, here's my second piece of advice. Infidelity doesn't always have to mean the end. For some couples, it can be a painful yet necessary awakening. I've known couples who, after enduring the storm of betrayal, managed to build something new and stronger. This isn't easy. It requires forgiveness, empathy, and commitment. A couple I knew from my younger days went through this during a challenging period in their marriage. The wife found solace in someone else. The discovery was devastating, but it also forced them to confront neglected issues. After months of pain, therapy, and difficult conversations, they managed to rebuild a relationship that was honest and sustainable. So, my dear ones, remember that while infidelity can be deeply painful, it can also teach us a great deal about ourselves and our relationships. Let's explore this and learn together. Sometimes it's also important to recognize when it's time to let go. And this is my third piece of advice. Not all marriages can be saved after infidelity. For some, betrayal marks the end of an already weakened relationship, while for others, the hurt is simply too great. In these cases, the bravest choice may be to let go, not out of hatred, but out of respect for oneself and the other person. I recall my own experience with infidelity decades ago. My husband, the love of my youth, found comfort in another person during a difficult time. The betrayal shook me deeply, but I realized it was a symptom rather than the cause. Our marriage was filled with silences and unmet needs. Choosing to separate was painful but necessary. It became an act of liberation and self-affirmation. I learned that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is walking away from what no longer brings happiness. This lesson has guided me through many challenges in life. And here is my final and most important piece of advice. Learn from infidelity. Whether you decide to stay and rebuild or part ways and begin anew, don't let the experience go to waste. Infidelity teaches us about our needs, boundaries, and desires. It underscores the importance of communication, respect, and forgiveness. Most of all, it reveals the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Infidelity is one of the toughest trials a relationship can face, but it also offers an opportunity for growth. Take my words, shaped by years of experience, and use them to guide you with love, passion, and courage. You can weather any storm and find light again. As we close our conversation, I'd like to share some broader life lessons I've learned in my 85 years. Being true to yourself is the most important loyalty of all. Ask yourself what it means to be authentic. Life is brief, and to live it as anything less than who we truly are is a tragedy. Staying true to yourself means honoring your desires, listening to your inner voice, and living according to your own values and principles. It's easy to get lost in the expectations of others and the roles society assigns us. But in the end, we're the ones who must live with our choices. Betrayal hurts, and that's undeniable. Yet, even in the deepest pain, there's a chance to find future happiness. Recovering from a betrayal takes time, tears, and a lot of inner work, but it's possible. It all starts with forgiveness, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Engage in activities that uplift your soul. Surround yourself with supportive people and gradually rebuild a life that truly belongs to you. Self-esteem is the foundation of a strong life. Without it, we're vulnerable to any storm. Nurture your self-esteem as if it were a precious garden. Eat well, take care of yourself, and demand respect from others. Remember, you deserve love and respect, not for what you do or possess, but simply for who you are. Choosing forgiveness is powerful. By forgiving, you release not only the other person from your anger, but also yourself. Resentment is like a chain that ties us to the past, a poison we drink while hoping the other person suffers. True forgiveness breaks that chain and neutralizes the poison. But remember, forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes the best choice for both yourself and the other person is to move forward separately. Life is always teaching us. Each day brings lessons for those willing to learn. Never stop growing. Continually seek to expand your mind, challenge your beliefs, and step beyond your comfort zone. Personal growth is the antidote to stagnation and the key to a fulfilling life. Life is built on choices, and while we may not control everything that happens, we can always choose how to respond. Choose love over fear, hope over despair, and light over dark. And remember, no matter how long the night, dawn always comes. May my words serve as a source of guidance and comfort. Live with courage, passion, and authenticity, so that at the end of your days, you can look back knowing you lived fully and truthfully. I hope my words have touched your hearts and brought light to difficult moments. Remember, wisdom is not only to be heard, but to be lived. If something I've said has brought you comfort, inspiration, or companionship, I invite you to join me on this journey of learning and discovery. Subscribe, join in, and continue exploring the depths of life and the human spirit with us. Together, we can build a community of open hearts and minds, ready to support and grow alongside each other. To avoid missing future conversations and advice, subscribe to the channel, give a like if you enjoyed it, and share this message with those you feel may benefit. Every subscription and shared message helps spread a bit more wisdom, which is so needed in today's world. Now, I say goodbye with a heart full of gratitude and love. May your paths always be led by understanding, compassion, and love. Until next time, my dear friends, and always remember to smile. With love and blessings, your wise guide